Okay, so if you've done the third lab correctly, you should have a website that looks like this. You could you could zoom in here. Oh, sorry. Zoom in and click Add New Contact, and well, add a new contact basically. The problem is that when the page loads, everything is pretty small here. So we want to force the browser to zoom in to this scale 1 to 1. And to do that, we need to add a meta tag to our HTML code. So if we start with this, I'll actually have a shortcut here. So let's have a look at this line here. So it's a meta tag, and the name is viewport, so it's the viewport settings. So mobile phones will listen for this one. The content is where we set the actual options. So the width of the browser window should be the same as the device width. And for instance, an iPhone will respond saying that, well, I'm 320 pixels wide. Even though it consists of more than that, it's the CSS pixel width. Some other devices listen to this one instead. Initial scale equals 1. So these are the things that you need to zoom in. If you also want to force that you cannot scroll or pinch or zoom, you can also add settings for that. And that is user scalable equals no. So all of these options are within the content attributes here, but you just separate them with a comma here, and different devices will look for the different options. Alright, so viewports, the viewport tag. So if I add this and I save, and let's bring back that phone here, and I click to update, now when I zoom in, it's already like this. When I click my add new contacts right here, it's already zoomed in. And I cannot pinch anymore. Now, of course, my canvas here, or sorry, my page is a little bit too large here, so I have it scrollable anyway. So this is my bad. I have made some CSS things here, so I made this a bit too large. But nevertheless, it's zoomed in, and you can't pinch to zoom, and you can't zoom out either, unfortunately, right now. Alright, so that's the setting for make it scalable. Next thing is that we want to have an icon when we save it to the home screen. So when I click my share button down here, and I click the icon add to home screen, then I want to have like a small icon next to the description right here. So I have to add some links for that, and because I'm lazy, I have a shortcut for that as well. So link icons, and the relationship with this document is that it is an icon, and for Apple devices it's called Apple Touch icon, and for Android devices it's just called icon. Because of the size and the resolution of different screen sizes, you have different sizes for these icons. So for an old iPhone, you have a 60 by 60 pixel icon image. For an old iPad, you have 67 by 67 pixels. For an iPhone 4S, I think 120 pixels. iPad with a Retina display, 152, and an iPhone Plus 6 Plus, 180. And for Android devices, it's either 128 and 192. Alright, so we need to create those icons, and there's actually a web service that can do this for you. There's an online tool, and I will show you that right now. So normally maybe you would want to do this in Photoshop, and you would go to File and Save for Web. And oh, sorry, let's bring this in here. So you would say that, well, I want to save this as a PNG 24, and I want the size to be 60 by 60 pixels. And save that one, and then go back into Save for Web and say that the size should be 67 by 67 and so on. It's a tedious job if you have a lot of different icon sizes, of course. So if we instead go to icongen.com and we save or just upload one size of the image, and it will take care of the rest. So I'll just drag and drop my PNG file, and all the files are now saved. So I have my 60 by 60 icon. I'm just going to save that one. I have my 76, and I want the 120. I want 180. What else? 152. 180, 128, 182. Oh, that one is not here. Oh yeah, Android Chrome. Let's save that one. Well, maybe not all of them is here, but most of them. And actually also, if you just save all of them, and you can just copy all of these lines and just paste that into your HTML documents. Alright, so now you have all the icons as well. So if I save this right now, it would still be just opening up in Safari. So it's no other application. It's still Safari. It opens up here. So to make it open up as an application that has its own kind of memory space, and it's kind of, well, it's sandboxed, so it has nothing to do with the app Safari. It's just using the UE web view. Then you need to add a couple of more lines. So let's have a look at that as well. And well, I added them before, but I cut them out just so that you could see how it looks if you don't have these lines. So these are the lines here, and there are two versions, one for Apple devices and one for Android devices. So it's a meta tag again, and the name is Apple Mobile Web App Capable, and the content is set to yes. And there's the Android version, and you need to have Chrome on Android for this to work. Then it's Mobile Web App Capable, so without the Apple. And the same content is set to yes. So if you have this, your application will instead look like this. Alright, so now I have saved and uploaded my file again with these tags, and I click my contact book. I've saved it again to the home screen, and now I have it more like an app. And if I double click, we have Safari here, and we have the application here. And one thing that you'll notice is that it doesn't have access to the same local storage as Safari has, so you have to recreate your contacts once more. So you have to click here and add a new contact again, and so on. But anyway, this is how you do it. How do you make your web page web app capable, or make it look like an app, kind of an hybrid app on your device. So I'm just going to create a new file here, and let's call this one contacts.appcache. So the file extension appcache, appcache, is necessary. It needs to be called app cache, and that will the browser will know that this is an app cache file and what to do with it. All right, so let's open this one up, and the first line has to be cache manifest. And then we need to tell the browser which files it should save to the cache. So cache and colon, and then we just add all the files that we need to be saved. And let's have a look here in my browser. I have, or sorry, the file browser. Contacts.html does not need to be cached in. Well, it will be, but it doesn't have to be mentioned in the cache manifest because it will be implicitly cached just because we will have the app cache file inserted into this page. But we need the CSS file, of course, so css/style.css. So let's go back in here at the the app cache file. So I'm going to say CSS slash, no, actually that was not in, just in lowercase, /style.css. Oh, well, I just had a crash here, but I'm back on track, and so just going to copy the paths of all of these images and add them as well. So I'm just going to copy the path and make sure that goes in here as well. And also the JavaScript file, of course. And like so. And it doesn't have to be absolute links, of course, so I'm just going to get rid of all of these and make it relative links. Sorry. Alright, so all of these files needs to be cached. And remember, do not add the cache manifest file. So caching this one is not a good idea because it's going to be very hard to delete it from your, or update it from your customers, because, well, it's been cached, so it will never change again. Because the only way to get the other files deleted from the cache or from your client's cache is that when they next time they visit your web page, and if the app cache file, the cache manifest, is changed in some way, let's just say I add a comment here, then the cache will be deleted, and then the next time they visit the page, they will get and download all the new files. Alright, so the word cache is to say that, okay, all of these files needs to be saved. So this is actually all I need to make this application work offline. If I wanted to, I could add specific things that, well, specific pages that only works if you're online. So if you're not online, they shouldn't work at all. So I could say that files listed under here, network, they will not be cached. They have to be, you have to be online to read these pages. And I could say like an asterisk to say all the other files in here needs to be, you need to be online to get them. And you can also say that, well, you can have a fallback. That means for the other files, in this case there are no other files, but if I should add more files to my web application here, they say here that they need to be online to get them. But what if you're not online and you can't get them? Well, you say that, okay, for all files, that's just a slash here, you can say load the let's say I have an offline folder, and in here I have this one page that will give information about, okay, you're currently offline and so you can't view this page. Please go back to add a new contact or whatever. So fallback means well, you can do this for specific files. So I could say that news.html should use whatever file is in the folder offline called index.html. Use this one instead of news.html. Alright, so this is how the cache manifest looks, but don't add this one until you're completely done and you're done with all the design and everything works perfectly on all devices that you test. Then you can add the cache manifest to your page. If you do it before that, well, there's a risk that there's a problem with. It's always problematic to work with the cache because, well, it's kind of harder to update, and you need to go back to the cache manifest and add new comments to it. You have to double click on reload to make it, reload the new resources. So it's kind of tedious work. Alright, so now that we have the cache manifest and we have it on the server, we need to also add it to the web page and the HTML tag, the start tag for HTML. We say the attribute manifest should equal contacts.appcache, or whatever you call your app cache file. So doing this will force the browser to cache all your files. So let's try this. So when I have uploaded the app cache file and the new saved HTML to my web server, I can just click to refresh the page, and then if I go offline and go to flight mode, it should still update. Unfortunately, I can't show you that right now because once I go into flight mode, I lose my connection with my iPhone software that shows my iPhone here wirelessly. But I can assure you that it works. Alright, so that's how the app cache works. And in case you have problems with your app cache file, let's see if I just do something wrong here. Let's say I say, well, I thought this was a PNG file, for instance, my profile header. And I save this one. Now I have updated it, so that means it's going to read that one when I refresh my page on a normal browser. Alright, so we should get an error anyway. So it should say, and the best way to know that your cache actually works is to open up the console, and there shouldn't be any messages. So right here it says, well, there's a 404 error, you can't find this image here. Well, of course not, it's called PNG and it's supposed to be JPEG. So if I add this one back to JPEG and save it and go back to Chrome and try to update again, now there's no red lines here at all. And I can also go into resources and application cache, and there should be one here saying all the files that are in here. Contact is the master, so it's implicitly added to the cache, and then all these other files here. So that's how it works.